Morning everyone and welcome back. I am trying to solve a problem this morning and I think I've got an easy way to do it, or a new way to do it. So the other day I came over and put this gate latch on this new gate that we chucked in here, and how tidy does that look now? It looks really good. But when I was putting the latch on, I noticed that I was getting shocks off the gate. So I put my tester up. There's nothing coming through it today. It didn't help that that wire there was actually sitting on the gudgeon, which was shorting out a little bit. But the other day, oh, see, look at that. There's 2.4 volts going through that wire, and that shouldn't be electric at all. If I come to the strainer here, I'll have a little look and see what the fence is doing. So the fence is doing 7.4, which is pretty good. And then there shouldn't be anything coming through there, although there is a volt. What's that wire? That wire should be dead, and there's 2 volts coming through there as well. Same thing as the bottom wire on. Oh, the bottom wire is only doing 0.5, which isn't too bad. It shouldn't be doing that, and that really annoys me because there's nothing worse than when you come and open a gate and the latch is hot. So it's usually worse when it's a bit wet, standing in like wet ground. It usually gets shocks off this gate, and it has always done it. So I'm going to try and fix that. Out of interest's sake though, I'll just test that today. So, oh, it is going. It says it's doing 0.7, 0.9. It's a gate hot. The gate's not actually hot. I don't think it'd be too bad wearing gumboots. I don't think it'd probably feel much of a shock. I don't really want to grab it either though. Need a couple of things. First off, I need some wire cutters. Right there. And as I was walking, I seen some wire up there too. Perfect. So these are the tools that I need. I've also turned the power off because I don't really want to get a shock while I'm doing it. But we'll come over to here. Need to find the start, which is there. Should be in about enough if I cut it off there, I'm hoping. I actually posted this on my Instagram stories the other day, so if you don't follow me on there, go over. It's just the Once a Day Farmer, and quite a few people sent through messages, and someone sent through a video on how to do it, which was quite good. Strain Right, they're a fencing outfit. They probably put one on YouTube probably like 8 years ago, and it's quite interesting. So the way that I'm going to fix it, or try to fix it, hopefully it works, is I'm going to hit this wire into the top of the post here, pretty much as far as it'll go. So I'm gonna have to probably make a judgment call, maybe that far, that might be enough. So whack that straight into there, and then I'm gonna staple it down the side of the post. So put staples in where these wires are, and then I'm gonna stick the bottom into the ground. So effectively I've grounded out this post, and hopefully it's gonna fix that short. So that was doing 2 before. I've turned the power off. When I go and turn it back on, it's going to be interesting to see what it's doing then. Quite a few people said they've done it, or they do it to their strainers, and it works pretty well for them, so I really hope this is going to work. I'm going to speed bend in like so. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it in that far. Straight into the core. There's the core. Oh yeah, should be right. The trouble is getting it in. How far it is, probably not that far. Heck it, that'll do. Something like that. They're all stapled off. Now, all I've got to do is tuck this tail in. Hopefully, just try and push this down as far as it'll go. I might staple that bottom off too, just to keep it down. All done. Time to go and whack that power back on and see if it's made a difference. Probably not the tidiest job out there, but doesn't look too bad. I'm just wondering whether I just do this strainer as well, and then at least it's done. I don't know if it needs it. I think you only need to do one, but I guess it can't hurt. Going again. Used to have a voltmeter like this where you could turn the fence on and off from here. You just stick it on the wire and you could put the off button and it would turn the unit off, but it stopped working, got a new one, and I'm not sure whether you got to get them reprogrammed to your unit or something, but it won't work now, which is a bit of a pain because it makes life so much easier. I really hope it's worked. Bingo, look at that, nothing. There's nothing coming through there. Nothing coming through there. Better make sure the fence is on first. Yep, 7.6. That's obviously a hot wire, 7.6, and that bottom one wasn't grounding out at all, but far out, look at that. I better shut the gate and try again, make sure everything's all the same. Nah, nothing. Oh, that is awesome. No more shocks. No more shocks. It did say in the video too, the reason that these wires can get hot and you have to earth these out is that when the power's going really good, these insulators are supposed to stop them, but they sort of don't. There's just too much power and it sort of just goes around it, transfers into this wire too. I'm not sure the exact terms for it, but you sort of get the gist of things. But that is amazing. I probably didn't need that one either. I should have probably just done one and then turned it on and seen what was the go, but yeah, cool. Absolutely perfect. Dad's come down and we've just filled up the Keenan for the afternoon feed, and I spotted this on the way back, so it must have come out of the Keenan when he was driving along. But check out the size of it, it's huge. That is one big rat. Far out. It's the next morning now, and it is an absolute beautiful day today. Another nice autumn morning. It was a wee bit foggy this morning, although Big Yellow's coming up and it looks like most of it has lifted. I've only got a couple of rows left to milk, but what I'm actually doing at the moment is going through and trimming the odd tail while I am milking. They're a little bit bushy at the moment, so just giving them a bit of a trim. Got that one yesterday, just tidies them up before winter. Today's the 23rd and I'll probably revisit on it about the 10th, but we're looking to probably dry up on about that 15th mark, so we'll have to see how the season's going, what it's looking like in another couple of weeks. But that is the goal so far. But I just want to give them a bit of a trim. I did it last year, I trimmed them all before we dried off and it just made it look so nice. It just means that they flick less muck around too, keep the udders nice and clean. They will get trimmed again once they calve, but if I do them now, it means that they're not quite so mucky when they calve as well. Doesn't that look just so much better? Nice and tidy. I usually just shoot through and do about the first 4, and it just sort of doesn't really slow my milking up too much. And if I do that for about 5 days, I can get the whole herd done. Come on, Ed. When I get the last rows in like this, it's quite handy because I'm not waiting on any cows in the yard to come in. I can just go through and trim most of the cows in this row and then take the cups off and do most of them in that row. Dad can come and hang the cups up and I can just keep going. So I can normally do both of these, which is definitely handy. A nice bushy one to finish this row off with. Find it easier, you just grab the end and part it so you can sort of see the nub of the tail, and then just like that you can see the end, and then you can just go straight in, up and done. Nice, clean and tidy now. Looks so much better. I'm actually having a little bit of trouble with this tail well at the moment. Like, it is a good machine. Just the only thing is that these tensioners here, there's just a couple of springs. So you wind them in to tension it, which means it cuts real well. It keeps that nice and tight. But these just keep unscrewing while you're cutting. So I'm always having to tighten them up. And it just means that instead of cutting nice and cleanly, it pulls it, which is a little bit annoying, but maybe there is a way to fix it. I'm not too sure. I might have to take this apart and have a little look. But once you are finished, you're supposed to unwind it to take the tension off. On the way home, we'll grab a couple of these. I don't know if people have these overseas or not. I think it's like a South American tree. But these are called feijoas. If you're in New Zealand, you'll know what they're all about. They are so good. Look, there's heaps on the ground here. There's actually 3 different varieties in this bush here, because there's 3 different trees and they all have sort of different fruit on them. Different kinds of fruit. One's like real long and narrow. These are quite big and round, and I quite like these ones. I'll grab some of these. They are so good in like crumbles, like apple and feijoa crumble is amazing. Grab one of these. Oh, where's a good one? That one's a nice one. Most people would just cut them in half and then scoop out the inside with a spoon and eat it. But I'm not quite like most people, and I do things a little bit different. I sort of like to cut them up like an apple. It's a bit hard with one hand, but you get the gist of things, sort of like this. And then you just left with it like that, and I reckon this is the best way to eat it. These are so good. Let me know if you get them from overseas. They're definitely a pretty big New Zealand thing, although they have come from somewhere else around the world, these trees. But that pretty much will wrap it up for this video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and other than that, I shall see you next time. So good.